Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Yet another series of masterclass that we have been doing since the past. A very good afternoon to all. Hi, Debjani. Hi, Celia. Hi, Pushpender ji. Hi, Vishnupriya. Hi, how are you all? We will wait for another 2 or 3 minutes for all the participants to join in, and then we can start with our webinar. Today's special, we can all see on the screen, somebody, a guest has joined us that we will be doing a series with Mr. Prantik, and we will be knowing about his journey, how it has been throughout. So welcome everybody. Hi, Mr. Syriac. How are you? If there are any suggestions, anything that you want to add, you can add in the chat box section. We can take up the questions later when we are nearing the end of the webinar. We'll just wait for another 2 to 3 minutes. Meanwhile, please let us know where you're from, which week are you in, if you're connected with us on Daily Bloom, which week are you in right now? Hi, Miss Sarita, how are you? We do have WhatsApp community as well, wherein you can join us and you can stay connected with us there. Today is another masterclass, as you can see Mr. Prantik here. So he will be talking about his entire journey. Uh, we'll give it a minute more, let all the participants join, and then we can start with our webinar for today. Hi, good evening, everyone. All right, to start with, welcome everyone to today's webinar on Masterclass. This is real life, real story webinar, and we have Mr. Prantik Mandal with us. Let me introduce him. He is Dr. Prantik, and he has received his master's in applied geophysics, and also he's a chief scientist. He also holds a PhD degree, which is an amazing achievement, and he's also led almost 146 researches and 3,000 plus citations. So it's good to see you here. Really good afternoon and warm welcome to you. So how are you today? And do you want to add on to your introduction?
Oh, I think it's fine. It's fine.
Perfect. So we have with us Mr. Prantik. We all know that IBS is something which there's a need to manage it. A lot of people lack formal diagnosis for IBS. And it's good that you have joined us here, and we have been able to manage your IBS, and it's been a beautiful journey that you've gone through. So we would like to know a little more about your journey. So starting with how did you come across our app?
Yeah, actually, my doctor is Rohan Reddy from Sunshine. So he advised me regarding this because I was going to him quite frequently, and then he could guess that probably I have some symptoms of IBS. So he said that you contact these people, the Reddy's lab, and they are doing a good, they have a good practice. And if you go through that, hopefully things would improve. And then initially I used to get flare-ups, and it used to disturb my work, and I used to get late to even to reach office. So all sort of problems were there. Then slowly, when I joined you people, and then I started knowing that what I should do, how I should do the dietary management, and how I should manage my mind so that we can control the IBS. And let me say, I think the initially when I started, things were very disturbed. Now I have got I'm almost control. Not, I would not say total control, but I have got a good control on my dietary system, and I know what I should eat, what I should not eat, and whatever your nutritionist, I would say, advised me, Devjani Saha, that helped me a lot. And even Ria Sarkar, the wellness course, she helped. So, I have been doing those, the count, mind management, whatever apps you have provided, and then imagery. I mean, look at those images so that you can control your mind. So those things I'm doing regularly, and that has helped me a lot. And today, I have a much better situation than when I started in the first
That's
week.
good to hear. That's good to hear. You mentioned about being late to office and all this. How did IBS affect your day-to-day life or socially, maybe in an outing? Because we know that IBS symptoms are very unpredictable. So it
Hmm.
could come up at any time through the day.
Yes.
Maybe if you're out
Yes.
or if you're maybe stepping out of the house and you feel like, okay, now there's a pressure that is, you know,
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
how did it affect you before and versus how has it changed now? Can you
Yeah,
tell
I
us
think
something?
initially I used to get bloating problem and then flare up. So that used to disturb the whole thing because you don't know, you can't predict. As you said, it is very difficult to predict when you'll get them. And then I used to get, and then I used to think why I'm getting it, what I have eaten today. So slowly I could get a grip on that what I should eat and why I should what I should not eat. And then that helped me to control it. And initially I used to get, because I was not knowing what I should eat, what I should not eat. So I used to get the, I think, what I feel, the main dietary management is the main thing. If you can control that, and that might definitely help you in controlling the IBS. That's what my feeling is. But one should not be worried about it. I mean, mentally, you should not have that problem that yes, I have that.
Absolutely.
If you can think that no, you don't have that, then slowly you'll be able to manage that. The gut feeling or the confidence is very much required, self confidence.
Absolutely true. So, like we all know that IBS management is not just related to food and diet, but a lot of other factors are also involved when it comes to IBS flare up. It could be the sleep cycle, it could be your water intake, it could be your physical activity, or even stress, which plays a really important role. So, you also mentioned about the wellness coach helping you through the stress and the journey, how important it is to not feel like, okay, this is something which is a long going condition that is going to stay with you, but definitely, like it is said, that it is manageable, which is really great. Would you want to shed some light on how it helped you improve your thoughts or your mental wellness? How did the wellness coach help you in this?
Yeah, I think wellness coach did help because initially when I used to get this problem, I used to be disturbed, and then I was afraid to socialize, and all those things were there. And slowly, when I started doing those meditation thing, and it helped me to control my mind. And slowly, then I thought, no, when this problem is there, so you have to control it. There's no other way. So my wife did help me because she has been suffering from this earlier to me. So she was knowing, I mean, what are the things one should not eat, one should eat. So that did help me. And slowly, I could control my food habit. And then, and I have been doing the walking every day. So the exercises are very important. I feel so. One should do exercises. Otherwise, you can notice if you don't do exercises on that day, probably you would have more problem. And if you do exercises, then you would have less problem. So definitely, wellness course, the exercises what she has advised, those are very useful. So that did help. That did help.
Right, absolutely. So, what all changes, or can you tell me what was your IBS score when you joined, and now what is the IBS score which you took recently?
Wow, that's a very difficult question, but because I am not tracking keep a track on that. But initially, probably it was 79 or something like that, and now probably it is around 86 or 87, something like
Right. So that's a really good change that we see, because a score of anywhere around 50 is something wherein it's sort of critical, or anywhere below 40 is somebody who needs an immediate attention. So you fall in the span of moderate. Okay. So
that.
that is like this is the right time to get it corrected before the symptoms worsen
Yeah,
even more.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's when you joined us, and that was really great that you came across this. And before, it could be something wherein your intestines are too weak to manage. You
right.
joined at the right time, and you were able to improve it beyond 80, which
Hmm.
falls under the green area, which is really great.
Hmm.
So throughout the journey, did you feel any challenges, or how did the nutritionist help you out when you
Yeah,
came across?
challenges were there because it's really difficult to control the food. Initially you'll be habituated with something and then you would not believe anyone that why you should not eat. But once you eat that kind of food, you'll get trouble. So slowly, you will be scared to eat even. So then, you keep on do the trial and error and try to find out which one is working better for you. And yes, I mean, your nutritionist, she did help me to fix my daily routine. And I would say the detox what we take that is looks to be very very useful. I mean the morning evening what we are taking those detox like methi water or you take soya seed or you take even other things whatever is being advised. Those things are really good. Those are really helping you. And then 11 o'clock you take something else like some fruits and all those, and then you control your food. So that did help the dietary system, the way it is being managed by your nutritionist. That is really really good. I think that did help.
That's great. I totally get that once we've been following a lifestyle for certain years, and then suddenly there's a need to change in the lifestyle, it becomes difficult to adapt. I'm sure the first 2 weeks would have been a little
Yeah.
hectic to manage, because when we are concentrating only on one thing, we sort of lose concentration on other parts of our life. But
Right.
once you get a hang of it, or once you're in the lifestyle, it becomes quite easy, because you also observe change in the symptoms that you were facing. So it is also helpful, but also I'm sure the nutritionist gave you easier options, or a better way to
Yeah.
manage the entire plan, which is really great. So would you want to let us through the entire journey, like when you joined us in the first week, what were your thoughts, or what did you feel like when you joined at that point of time, versus now that you're almost at the end of the program? Now,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts before, after completion of program? Like, what did
Yeah,
you feel?
actually, initially when I started, the things were very bad. So I was thinking that maybe I would have more trouble in future. But after starting this slowly, now I know that I can control it, and I've changed my lifestyle. But I think it is doable. There is no problem. Once you are used to this, and I don't think you have any trouble. Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, you cannot go back to your old lifestyle because now it is more disciplined and you need to follow certain diets. So, but I'm happy with that. Things are fine.
Right. So definitely, I also tell to all of my patients that consistency is the key. Once you stop following, the chances of the symptoms coming back would be a little higher. But again, when, like you very well said, this is a disciplined life, that you know what your body needs. You know what your body cues are. You know, like, okay, now I'm hungry. Now this is the time that I'm full. So controlling your portion and everything also plays a very important role in managing IBS.
Hmm.
But overall, you get a hang of the entire plan, like this is how it should be. So
Right.
that becomes quite easy. Absolutely correct. I also want to let our participants know that if there are any questions that they have for me or Mr. Prantik, they can definitely drop on the chat box and we'll be happy to answer them after the almost after the session ends. So you can just drop in your messages and we will be helping you out. If there are any other suggestions for the webinar or any other questions that you have, you can drop in the chat box. So moving ahead, I would want to know a little more. Can you just give our audience like one tip which you have taken from this and you would continue to follow for a longer period of time?
Yeah, I think the main issue is dietary. So if you can control your diet and regular exercises, then hopefully that would help you to control IBS and the self confidence, which is the most important, the self confidence.
Absolutely. So believing in yourself, believing in the nutritionist, believing in the plan, believing in the wellness coach, doing proper activity, physical activity, and keeping stress away. I think these are the six important tips that if we have to put it in one, jar, these are the things that we need to look at. Is there anything in specific or any specific food or something that you really enjoyed or how was it? So any
Yeah,
one
yeah,
particular
yeah.
tip that you would want to continue for a longer period of time?
Yeah, like detox. I mean, those things I'll continue forever. Looks like the morning, whatever detox we are taking, different kind of water, and then the evening, whatever detox we are taking. That I'm sure I'm going to continue that because that's helping me and my system very well, which I can feel. So I would advise everyone that I mean that kind of detox, if they can follow, would definitely help them in controlling their the flare ups.
Absolutely. So, in this Western world, we have almost forgotten about our roots and our tradition because all these diet that we do or all these Western things that we are following, actually, we never knew that our Indian herbs and spices were so helpful, right? Because all the detox waters that are mentioned are mostly all our herbs and our spices that we are using. So those are very important to keep our digestive power in place and help us control these symptoms. So absolutely true. Okay, we can take a few questions now. I see Mr. Syriac has mentioned how did you manage diet during social functions? Would you like to take this up?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a very difficult question because once you go there and you have a gathering and friends are there, so they'll force you. But you need to somehow avoid that. I mean, you need to take very little, whatever you can, like little rice or pulses and some salad and some curds and get away from there because you can't eat all those stuff. What would be there? It would be very lucrative, but still you have to control yourself.
Absolutely true. So, to answer the question from a nutritionist point of view, see, social function is something that obviously becomes slightly difficult to manage considering the restrictions, but there are a lot of options available which can be taken. So, first and foremost, one thing to keep in mind is about the portion size because we generally tend to eat more at a function or tend to eat more dishes at a function because there are multiple dishes and then we feel like okay, I need to have this, I need to have that, I also need to taste this. So that becomes difficult. So whatever you're eating, one is the portion control. Second, second is about selecting a better option. So instead of selecting something which is fried, a roasted or a barbecued food is better. And after reintroduction, you definitely know a lot of things that you are able to include in your diet. So you know which all food can be included and which quantity it can be included. So you can opt for those. Yes, the hidden content in the food is something that we may not be able to manage, but considering the change that has been and considering how your digestive power has increased, so your stomach may be able to tolerate and face only minimal symptoms even if you're eating out. So a simple example would be any South Indian dish is something which would be easy to tolerate. Another is like he absolutely correctly said that rice based food is something which is easier to tolerate. So rice and dal with a salad is something that you can definitely enjoy. So there are multiple options, and even if you know the menu beforehand, you can send it to your nutritionist and she can definitely help you out in brief what all things can be had at a social event. Okay, so there's another question. Sarita ji has mentioned that she's completed 4 weeks and have been very careful with the diet, but doesn't see much changes. So I think you can connect with the nutritionist and you can tell her about the entire detail, maybe find out what is happening in the entire diet or where can the changes be taken care. But definitely a few tips would be the detox drinks, which has worked for Mr. Prantik as well, or following a 7 meal pattern, restricting all the high FODMAP food might just do the magic. Um, okay, we have another question which is similar to the social function. Mr. Shripana Sen has asked that how does he manage diet while he's traveling outside? Have you traveled outside in the entire
Yeah,
journey?
I have trouble, but there also I used to control myself because but I traveled for only 1 or 2 days, so I could control it. So I never had any trouble regarding that because I went to Delhi and then I was at Insa guest house. Insa guest house foods are very good, so they prepare very homemade food. So I used to get their rice, pulses, and very light kind of vegetables curry. So that helped me. So I could control. But yes, I mean if you're going out and eating in some hotel, I don't know how you would manage because I have not experienced that.
Right. Did you like know what to do or what to carry or while you were traveling?
Yeah, that I did. I used to carry some biscuits,
Right.
and because if you feel hungry, then you need to eat something. So I used to carry biscuits.
Right. So, one tip that could really help is while traveling, you can just carry all the mid meals basically. So, be it fruits, be it certain dry fruits, or it could also be some dry snacks that you can carry with yourself, or especially these detox drinks, because these are something which we will not be able to find it anywhere else. So, carrying them with you is something which would be easier and that would be helpful when you're traveling outside. Okay, we have one more question. Mr. Avinash is asking, have you practiced yoga or breathing exercise throughout? I was able to see a very clear improvement with box breathing in managing stress and anxiety, and thereby managing IBS. Any views here?
Yeah, I think those exercises are good, but it depends on your flexibility. But I'm quite old. I'm 59 plus. I'm almost 60. So I was not able to do all exercises very correctly. So I did those, but not very regularly. But I do regular exercises, other exercises like I have got other problems. So I
Right.
do walking and then I do meditation. So those things I have been doing, and they have been helping definitely.
Right. So, how nutrition or diet is something that is customized based on a patient and his needs, that in a similar way, yoga is also something, or breathing exercise is also something which is customized based on how the patient's requirements are or what all the patient needs, because there are multiple therapies, and I'm sure the wellness coach is somebody who will be guiding you. And I see that you have been seeing an improvement in managing your stress, because stress is also one of the factors which
Yeah.
leads to IBS symptoms because of the gut brain axis. So you clearly know that if the axis is disrupted, that would lead to more problem, because if you're concentrating on something or if you're thinking a lot about something, definitely there's a sudden urge to pass motion, or there's certain bloating that we observe, or if you're going to step in a meeting which is really important, we do feel like, okay, I need to pass my
Hmm.
emotions. So this is all basically lead stress related IBS. And it is also vice versa, wherein if your stomach is not correct, or if there's any symptom that you're facing, your concentration and your presentism to a certain work that you're doing, or the focus is something which is seen to be hampered. And that's why managing stress according to your specialized need is very important. So thank you for all the questions that you all have. These are amazing questions. I hope that you gain some insight. If there are any more questions, you can ask. Meanwhile, you just mentioned about your age. So it's really good to see that at this age, following a disciplined diet and doing all the activities given by the nutritionist and wellness coach is commendable. I would like really take out a minute to appreciate this, is because managing or planning a diet is something that this is our part, that we give you a specialized diet. But sticking to the diet and doing it and following through the entire 14 weeks, I get that sometimes it becomes a little difficult to follow it through. But hats off to you that you were able to do this in the 14 weeks. And because of your dedication and because of your commitment to this, you could see a really good change in your entire lifestyle. So I just hope to I hope to see you continue this, and we will be in touch so that you can give us your feedbacks constantly and let us know what has been happening. So
Sure.
really hats off to you. And of course,
Sure.
like you mentioned, to your wife, because obviously she's the one who's been cooking
Yeah.
and doing all
Yeah.
the things from back
Yeah.
end, and that's the reason why you were able to view this change.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
really great, really great. Any last tips or pointers that you would like to say, or do you want to sum this up and tell us to our attendees?
Yeah, another thing, like I feel that is also very important, the water intake. So water intake should be more than 3 liters. Otherwise, that would lead to a trouble. I've seen the water intake does help in clearing the flare-ups. So that could be my last suggestion.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I feel you have covered a majority of things, because starting from diet to managing stress to your water intake and your physical activity and even managing stress. So I mean, all the 6 points that I just mentioned are important to manage IBS. I think you've done them all very thoroughly and religiously, and that's the reason why you could see a significant difference in the symptoms. So everybody who's here, everybody who's present, managing IBS is very easy. It's just that you need to know and understand your body a little better. And that's how you will be able to manage IBS. So like we know, Mr. Prantik have been doing it, and he's pushing IBS back every moment of his life and managing it. And hats off to him and his dedication. You can also be somebody who would be able to manage your IBS just by following these simple things. So if there are any other doubts, any other questions that you have, you can definitely ask us, or you can definitely even ask your nutritionist if you are with us in the program. So that's all. Um, okay, we have one more question. What about weight gain, or weight loss? Okay, this is a little tricky question. So when it comes to weight, it depends on two things. One, what your goal is, and two, what your nutritional status is. So we would first look at IBS symptoms and how to manage them, and your nutritional status. If that is correct, only and only then we would look at the weight and if there's need of weight gain or weight loss. So that is what. And even if you have a certain goal to gain weight or lose weight, we would first manage symptoms, because if your gut is not healthy and functioning, the uptake or the digestion and absorption, once that is hampered, it becomes difficult to manage your weight as well. So that is what my advice would be. I think we are nearing the end. So thank you so much, Mr. Prantik, for joining us. I hope you were able to, give some insights to all our attendees. And I would really, again, I would appreciate the effort that you've put. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for understanding what your symptoms are, what your body is, and taking a step forward to managing IBS, because a lot of patients know that they have IBS, but they wouldn't, take a step ahead, or would be scared to do that, or would be scared to start a new thing. But you did that, and that is really great. So hope to see you again. Like, we will be staying in touch definitely. So
Sure, sure.
right, absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody. If you have any other doubts, or if you want to mention about anything else, you can drop in the chat box, or you can definitely get in touch with our nutritionist, and they will be helping you out. So thank you so much for joining today. Thank you, Mr. Prantik.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
calling me here.
Take care.